Yeah. Yeah, we do. In fact, I think that's exactly what we as a source are doing. We are breaking. We are creating different degrees of fragmentation, so that we can experience different degree of separations, and through those experiences we gain more awareness of what it means to be whole. So I am whole, I am source, but I don't really know what it means just yet. In order to figure out what it means to be light, I fragment myself into an infinite amount of different pieces of shape and forms, and that some that goes really, really far, some are closer, some are big, some are small, some are infinite small, and now I am fragmented in so many different situation, and I can perceive the idea of lack of light, of darkness, from so many points of view. And every time I manage to come back into the whole, I am more and more vibrant about it. I have more. Now I am light, and I know what it means. And this process it continues. It's a creative process that continues, the fragmentation, defragmentation, and then the reassembling, and then defragmentation and reassembling. And every time is more, it takes me to a higher level of self-awareness, more and more and more. So we also, as expression of ourselves as humans, we are experiencing that too. We have to break in many pieces, internally and externally sometimes, in order to figure out more and more who we are, what we want. Sometimes we need to experience what we don't want in order to understand what we want. And sometimes, in order to go back to ourself, we have to break the ourself that is not working anymore. We need to break it in millions of pieces, because it serves our scope. It took us where we are right now, but now, in order to continue our journey, we have to break through from this. And just explode, literally explode and break through. And you see sometimes in many people that all of a sudden they completely leave their job, leave their family, leave their locations, completely change. Because they got to a point, the exciting point, where all that reality that they have created, it doesn't sustain them anymore. They have done it, it was valuable, and the experience was good, and now they need to break the whole thing in order to find out more about who they are and remember more who they are, and so they break everything again.
Mm-hmm. And some people, they will be in, for example, in relationships and feel this kind of heartbreak, and they continue to attract this kind of situation over and over and over and over again, and then they say, I don't want this anymore, I don't want to have this pain and this heartbreak, it's so I don't like it, it's so painful. But then they don't know how to, they don't want it, but they don't know how to get through that, so they keep on continuing this situation of heartbreaks and
Well, the secret is that the secrets about this is that it's not really necessary to know.
no.
It's comforting to know how break through, but it's not necessary. What is necessary is to trust our inner guidance, our female energy, intuition, that most of the time doesn't make any sense. So we don't need to know all the next steps, movements we are going to make in order to get there. We just have to trust, to get to the point where our trust is we trust more our love than our fear. Because before we were trusting more our fears and we were not trusting our joy, our love. For some reason, most of us, when it comes fear, we trusted 100%. Oh, it must be true, I feel scared, I feel fear. But when we find joy, we don't trust it. We don't give it credit. We don't have trust for that. We have been discouraged since the very beginning to distrust our imagination, the product of our female energy. We have learned not to trust it, and now we trust our male energy, which is a controlling device when it's out of balance, that is based on fear. And so it constantly needs to reason things. So if you address a certain situation by reasoning them, it's going to be a gray life. You have to break through, and then you have to trust the resonance. So rather than constantly try to make sense of something and reason something, let's get to a point where we trust our resonating force within ourselves, what resonates, what it feels good, what it intuitively is directing us.
Yeah, but I guess again this questions arises of how.
Yeah, but the how is still the reasoning.
Right.
Because the female energy is not concerned about the how, because he has such an internal strong trust with his intuition that he knows that the how will be perfectly delivered by synchronicity with life and nature. Yeah. So who cares about? Actually, I don't want to know how, otherwise you spoil my surprise. Right?
Yeah.
It's like there are some people that already know exactly what they are going to do 3 years from now. They already made a reservation for their holiday in 2019. They know exactly what they are going to eat and which restaurant they are going to go and which hotel they are going to. It's like they are so concerned about the how that they need to plan every little detail, because their approach is all reasoning, and so they are constantly concerned about safety. And that's exactly what the system wants from us. Because when we position in that male energy, we are extremely controllable, we are extremely predictable, and we don't dare, we just are nice, passive, obedient citizen. right? While if we are letting the female energy to drive, which doesn't mean that you don't address anymore the male energy. There has to be a balance between the two, of course, but when you address the female, when you embrace your life from the intuitively point of view, from your intuition, from your resonance, then life is full of surprises, it's full of magic. Yes, it can be tough sometimes, because when you address life in that way, life will show you your shit. Will show you right away the stuff that is in between you and you. While if you are reasoning all the time, the stuff will be under the carpet. The shit will be under the carpet. It will pretend it doesn't exist. And it might smell a little bit, but you know, you act like nothing is happening, and you pretend that you're happy. And it's very safe, and it's an experience. But eventually you get to the point where you are not anymore concerned about the how. You are concerned about living in integrity with your heart. And at that point, life becomes really, really exciting. Very scary, but it's a positive fear now you're dealing with. A fear that is basically showing a road that will take you to the full essence of you. Yeah.